Welcome back to my channel. In my previous videos, I have discussed why you should migrate in Australia, and the link is provided above. Now, in those videos, I have briefly discussed about the migration opportunities, and one of them is permanent residency. Now, becoming a PR is like winning a golden ticket, and these are all I think are the most beneficial part of it. You can live indefinitely in the country, sponsor relatives, unlimited working rights, Medicare, Centrelink, children privileges, government grants access to student loans, and Australian citizenship. Oh, another one is New Zealand. Now, I will discuss everything after the intro, so stay tuned. Before we get started, please don't forget to hit subscribe button and the bell button to get an update with new videos uploaded in my channel. And please like, comment, and share. One can get permanent residency after living for 4 years and passing the citizenship test. This is the most sought visa because it allows someone to live in the country indefinitely, and it comes with a lot of perks which I will discuss further in this video. Now the question is there an expiration to the visa? There's a misconception that PR is only valid for 5 years. The truth is, when 5 years is lapsed, for as long as you stay in Australia and don't leave the country, then you don't need to renew your PR visa. But if you want to travel overseas, then you'll need this visa renewed so that you can legally return to Australia. If you are in this situation and your employer asks you about this, then you can explain this to them. Take note that you retain your benefit as PR regardless if you renew it or not as long as you are in Australia. Hence, you can work, study, and live in the country indefinitely and definitely legally. So, or for example, in the future, you are in an overseas country and your permanent residency lapse or expired, then you should probably look in the resident return visa. You just Google it, just what I did, and it's in the picture below. So in here, you'll see resident return visa subclass 155 and 1577. So you can actually just look into this link as well above me, on top of me, and then just look it up. What are the overview about this visa? What is the eligibility? What is the step by step? You just play with what is needed in there. So I'm not gonna explain it further, guys. I'm not an immigration lawyer for that, or I'm not even a consultant. So any questions pertaining to migration, if you are unsure, you can't do it yourself, better consult a migration lawyer and ask for their MARA number so that you'll see whether they are legit or not. Permanent residents in Australia have the opportunity to sponsor other family members to come in Australia. You can potentially sponsor your spouse, your children, your sister, your brother, parents, and in-laws. If you're looking into this, find the right visa that applies to your scenario and tailor it according to the visa requirements. Or simply put, ask a migration lawyer again. Australia offers different types of visas for which an individual can be eligible. There are many factors before one can eligible to become a permanent resident, as it based on point system. The higher you get, the higher chance of you getting invited, and its quota is per profession. There's a quota for that. Well, so if someone find themselves not eligible yet, then they can find other visa that suits them. Just check the DOA or the Department of Affairs to see what are the requirements. I have also discussed quite truthfully how you'll navigate this through the Doha website. If you have decided and if you are ready to contact the registration immigration officer if you decide to pursue this course. Now here are the top 10 in-demand skills. There are registered nurses, electricians, carpenters and joiners, secondary school teachers, metal fitters and machinists, and so on. So it's not just on that top 10, but there are so many lists of that. Just go into the skilled occupation list, and if you're one of them, then try and research how you'll come here in Australia. Has one of the best medical systems in the world. Permanent residents have access to Australia's Medicare scheme. Now it's I think 2% that is paid through tax season on top of your tax, and so everyone have an access to the free public hospital care, free access to public bulk billing general practitioners, and subsidies for selected medical services and medications. So take note, this is for PR and Aussies only. I have discussed this in my previous video, and this is quite a lengthy discussion. So I'll provide the link above. You may try and watch it on your time as well, if you are interested. As a permanent resident, you also have the access to the Centrelink. Basically, these benefits play an important role for people with disability, students, and unemployed people. The amount that people get are factored in personal circumstances. You can check more of these details in the Centrelink website. Children born to permanent residents in Australia are automatically granted citizenship. As you cannot leave your children alone at home but need to go to work, you also get the child care subsidy, which depends upon your income. If you are earning higher, then you'll get lower subsidies. If you're planning to buy a house after becoming a PR, then you can probably look into the grants and scheme designed for the first home owners buyers in Australia. So this will also help you lock in the first home you wanted. No more renting, no more paying for someone else's mortgage. Hex Help. This is a loan scheme to assist eligible supported students pay their contribution through a loan or upfront discounts. Students can afford to get a higher education through this program. Paying their fees are deferred until the student could afford to pay it back. There are eligibility criteria such as being an Aussie, New Zealander on a long-term residency. By the way, there's a new rule also coming soon stating that New Zealand citizens who has been living here for long can directly apply to citizenship rather than going through the PR hoops and other else. Well, just look it up. I guess I think of this a benefit as well because it would be costly for parents to shoulder university fees. Plus, worth considering that parents may be already at a retiring age when their kids step into higher education stage. For example, for me, I'm already 30 plus without kids yet. So if I were to have a child at 40s, then that would be a problem for me in the future. I guess that this encourage as well people to become responsible of their own education. For example, in the Philippines, it is deemed that parents pay for the education of their children. So when I finished my college without the need to work, it's hard for me to study full time with about 8 to 10 subjects and work at the same time. So I never worked, by the way, in my college. Well, thank you for my parents. So that's why I'm grateful to them. But the thought of having a free sponsored education for me is a privilege, and I was lucky. Found my passion ASAP and stuck on the course that I chose, which is nursing. But how about those people of same scenario but change to different courses because they think the course that they were studying at the time is not what they are aiming for or they see themselves in the future. So they keep on changing their courses, but for these people they can afford to do that. But how about those people who can't? So Hexel, I think, helps people become responsible of their education. And some people might think it's not a benefit because you have a loan that you need to pay after working. But hey, still a benefit. One of the perks of becoming a PR as well is that you can be eligible to becoming an Australian citizen, which give you an access to a powerful passport. Now, an Australian passport is one of the most powerful passports in the world. You can travel to approximately 160 countries without a visa. In some countries, you will be granted a visa on arrival, so you will not need to be worried about the hustle of applying for a visa and waiting for a long time for approval. To be eligible for citizenship, you should have lived in Australia for 4 years, and from the time frame, you should have been a 1 year PR. Also, if you are a citizen, you are allowed to actually mandatory to vote, and you can work in public services or armed forces. So before, I was intending to apply to the Air Force, but because I was just a PR at the time, then they declined my application. If you are a permanent resident, you will usually be allowed to visit, live, study, and work in New Zealand and will not need to apply for any type of visa before traveling. So when I went to New Zealand back in 2017 with my friends, I was still a PR at the time, and when I passed through the immigration of New Zealand, they stamped my passport as a permanent resident. I think it has something to do with the Australia and New Zealand agreement, which is a really good relationship between these countries. Now, I have reached the end of the discussion, and I'm just wondering what topic do you want me to discuss more? There are many reasons why you should migrate here in Australia and aim for that permanent residency. Please don't settle for less. Study how you can permanently live here in Australia legally. Please be mindful of the age requirement as well. This visa is only valid or allowed up to the age of 45, so you can only apply up to the age 45. And that window of opportunity will close. I hope this video helped give you more insights. Till next time. Bye. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video. I will make one in the future again, so just stay tuned.